Yeah, I've been here a few years.
Anniversary at this point.
3 years?
No, 2.5. In January, you'll have 3. In
Okay.
January, it will be 3 years.
Ah, wonderful 3 years it's going to be. Of course.
Right. Okay.
Well, thanks to everyone for coming down to discuss the music program and things that are happening in the church with the choir here. I believe things are going great. There are some things that obviously that we could improve on and make better, but overall, I believe that for the state of the church at which it's in, and when I say church, I mean churches in our community, in our area, we are doing much better than some. Especially with
We're still open.
We're still open. Yeah. Especially within the music. A lot of my colleagues who are church music directors, they pay their whole entire choir to be there. I mean, they have 12 to 24 paid singers every single Sunday. And I visited these churches, and I myself has, joined to some of their Saturday services and such. And their congregations are, dwindling down, and oftentimes there's more people in the hired choir than there would be in the actual congregation. So I feel very blessed every, Thursday and Sunday, and just every day that I have an opportunity to be a part of this, because this church and this choir is very special. Very, very special. And I truly mean that. I've worked with a lot of church choirs, and I've been a church music director in several different places. And there's something about this choir and this place that God has called me to. And I feel that it's extremely awesome and extremely, I don't know. I can't find the word right now, but I believe something special is coming. And Heather spoke today in church about, there are a lot of things in the world right now that are not okay. It's very uncomfortable in the world right now. And there's a lot of fear just lurking within every person in our communities and in our families. But I am an optimist, and I try not to be an unhealthy optimist. But I truly believe that there is still beauty and good in this world. There truly is. And the enemy is trying to blind us from that. And we have an opportunity to be a part of that beauty and a part of that good in the world, starting in this community. And that's kind of where the birth of this Concordia 518 came from. The choir has some seed money that we've had money stored away that we could use for concerts, we could use to purchase certain large items, and I've kind of just been holding that money back for something special. Yes, I could have used that money to do a requiem or a mass and hired an orchestra out. I could have done all of those things to bring people into the church for that, but I felt like, yes, that would have been wonderful, but would that bear more fruit after we've done it? And I was looking for something and praying for something that could bear more fruit. And I wanted us to be a tree, a fresh air in this community, to be an anchor, something that we can have our shade over for this community. God has called me to work with kids, work with children. And by putting those two things together, that is what this is. So I just want to go over a few things, take a little bit of your time. And if you have some questions in the end, please feel free to ask. I may not know the answer to it, because we're still in the process of building a plan and what is this going to look like, and working with someone to help me with this plan and to help us with this plan, because it's going to take a community to do this. And once it starts moving, you're going to see something extremely awesome. So I came up with the name Concordia 518. Yes.
Did any more of these?
Oh, we have several. Yes. Sorry about that.
Right. Anybody else need them? You need 3 in the back.
3 in the balcony.
Well, same thing.
We need one more. Okay. Yeah. Um, and this name, it came to me because of a music publication company, and I wanted something that was awesome. Concordia 518, and you see that there's the logo is a tree with music notes, and I was showing this to Leah, and she says, "Well, the staff looks like a fence and a swing." I was like, "Yes." I want it to be something that we could have all reflected on from our own childhood and be inviting and comfortable and be serious yet can work with several generations of people. So we are the tree that provides this for these kids. We are the stability and the shade that they need. And they can produce music out of our tree to bring people back to where we are. So that's a brief overview of what I thought of the logo. And we all know what 518 represents. I found out everything around here likes to have the area codes. So this typically would have been a slide, but and I'm sorry about the formatting. It didn't turn out the way that I thought it would, but it's okay.
It works.
It works. So I'm going to kind of read and explain. So it says, today's youth are searching for unity, healing, hope, fairness, and a safe guidance. And I want to emphasize safe guidance because kids today are guided by so many things, social media, their own friends and influences, and they're starving for something. Because again, this world is not the best place. So they're starving for a safe place, rather it be a friend or poor influence. And we have young people struggle to find their place because one or more of these vital foundations are missing in their lives. I believe we have the space, the resources, the people, and most importantly, the heart to bring these elements together. By doing so, we can create an environment where every child feels seen, supported, empowered, and they can thrive. I've worked in several different types of schools, charter schools, inner city schools, schools that are predominantly, Hispanic, African American, schools where a lot of the kids drive Miatas and sport cars, to schools that are in, the countryside, off of some farm to market road somewhere. And I've learned that all kids need the same thing. They need guidance. They need a sense of hope and an opportunity to have a seat at the table. Every kid wants that. Some kids get to the table a lot quicker and easier, but we can be something for those kids and using music as that conduit. There are several music programs out there. There's the Empire State Youth Orchestra. They're like the St. John's has a boys choir, and there are little places that have lessons, but in my looking, there's really hardly anything for the kids in the inner city community, or kids who can't pay $1,200 to be a part of the Empire Youth Orchestra per year for one or two concerts. That's a lot of money for that. I know our Jacob would ask us, "Hey, mom and dad, I want to go to an AAU tournament. It's going to cost me $1,500. We're like, no. No, for you to play basketball for a total of probably 10 minutes over a weekend, you want me to pay $1,500 in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And we have to go and watch you and pay to get in. Oh, yeah.
And it's New Jersey.
And that's the reality that all the parents are facing. They want their kids in sports, they want their kids in music, and they're starving for something that's not going to break their bank. They're starving for something that they can have faith that is going to guide their children the right direction. And again, I believe we have the heart to do something like that. And of course, I have the mission statement here on the next page, and this is still being worked out. And I said, we will equip each child with the tools necessary to foster creativity and a sense of wonder grounded in gratitude through music. Allow them to listen to the gentle melodies of their own hearts, as well as the harmonious expressions found in their hearts of others. Prepare the children to engage in music through collaboration and cooperation, enabling their collective harmonies to contribute to the healing of this world. It goes back to the influence. It goes back to what we have and what we can offer. Again, they can go join another band, orchestra, ensemble, basketball team, football team, but is it for their own benefit? Are they going to grow through this and be a positive influence in their community that surrounds them? Parents wonder about that. Again, I'm going to go back to what we deal with as a family. Jacob was on about 4 AAU basketball teams, at least different teams. And each team, we started to notice he would come home and have a different personality.
Not always good.
And not always good. And we're like, wait a second.
The way he spoke was different. The way he approached us was different.
His demeanor, his positivity, outlook on life.
It's very influential during that time because he was searching for his place in each of those teams.
Absolutely. And we want to be that place, and when they go home, they can say, hey, I had a great time and I learned this. And that the child's personality starts to be this idea that, hey, I'm starting to find myself in a safe place, in a safe way, while being empathetic towards my friends, while engaging and learning to be a part of a community, because that's what schools are, right? They take a bunch of random kids, throw them in a building and say, good luck. I hope this teacher works out. Sometimes teachers do, sometimes they do not. But it's a huge social experiment that evolves generation after generation. So how can we contribute to the positive influence in that mission? So now to the actual school itself. This is the beginnings, what we're talking about, and some brainstorming things that I have thought about. In the beginning, it will start with 2 types of ensembles. A children's chorus and a youth chorus. The children's chorus would be grade levels 4 through 8th grade. And it will be unauditioned, kids come one, come sing. Let's be a part of something. And from there, they would have the youth chorus, which would be high school students. The idea would be that these kids have come through this program, the children's chorus, and ended up in the youth chorus. And the youth chorus is also an auditioned high school group. When I say auditioned, can you carry a tune? Can you track music? If you can do that, and you can follow along, you can probably be a part of this group. Yes.
It could, if a child was in the children's chorus, would they not have to audition for the, like, is there a possibility a child would love children's chorus and not make the audition for us? If you were the
Not necessarily, no, because you would have been within the group and you would have learned, a lot of those ideas and principles. No. But this is like, if you're new and you're in high school, like, hey, I want to join your choir, but like, okay, can I hear you sing a scale? And can you follow these words and track this music? You may not be able to sing all the intervals correctly, but you can learn that, because this is going to be an environment where kids can learn and grow together and help each other learn and grow together.
I think one of the things in arts is that you don't always judge and teach and train on ability. You train on, did they master the concepts? Did they try to get this? My mom, as an art teacher, taught art many different levels for years and years. She had a requirement of doing a sketchbook. Some kids would turn in literally stick figure theater to her, but they'd make excelling grades because they had tried to capture the concepts in that. You can't really grade that on ability or talent. So that's how the subjective nature of music and art, that's how did they master the concepts, basically.
But I feel like, without naming names, I've seen in this community, there's kids who they're coming into high school and that's when they're getting into music. They're starting to listen to the radio more, basically. Well, radio, they're listening to I listen to the radio, but they're just listening to pop music more and they're singing along with it. They're getting into music, and it almost feels like too late to do anything with the high school. Like, do you know what I'm saying? And I would love to see where, as you said, as long as the person has a basic ear for music and can, that they're not going to wreck things by
Right.
not being able to carry a tune, that they could actually step into something that's a little bit smaller and more supportive. I'm talking about kids who haven't had the advantages of
Mhm.
like, oh, let's put you in 6 different activities,
Right.
you know, and all of those, you know, like a kid who's just starting to think about something like this, who's, again, not naming any names, but maybe isn't signing up for doing that in high school,
Mhm.
could step into it a little bit here.
Correct.
I'd
Yeah,
love to.
absolutely. And then I was looking into the jazz combo. Now, the reason I say a jazz combo is because playing a musical instrument is more of a specialized thing versus singing. To recruit instrumentalists is going to be a little bit more difficult than singers because it's so specialized. So if you can have a jazz combo, few jazz combos, you may have 5 trumpets show up. Like, great, jazz band. 3 saxophones, 4 saxophones, great. Now I just need a drummer, a bass player, and a couple of trombones. Jazz band, right? So you take the smaller combos, and you create a band out of that. So at the beginning, my vision is to have a smaller ensemble to make it larger, which you're going to kind of see as we go along, as I start naming other future ideas. And when it comes to instructors, I mean, I can do a choir. Leah can help with the jazz band and with the choir. Jeff Calistri, who was here a few weeks ago, who played the trumpet, he's a jazz band instructor, and he has agreed to help out with this and be a part of this. So I'm already speaking with people who would like to be a part of this idea and putting people in place. So
Praise the Lord, because Caleb loves being in jazz band and they canceled it this year for like funding or something. It's so crushed.
Really?
And it's just, I just praise the
He's not,
Lord
he's
that,
not gonna be the only one that's.
yeah.
mhm.
Oh, this kid really needs to.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was so sad that jazz band got canceled, and it's like a wild moment.
Mhm. I mean, and the kids who are when I was at the charter school, they didn't have music. I went in there and my very first day, I said, "Welcome to choir." And this girl raises her hand. She goes, "We're a choir." I was like, "Yeah, well, you're a choir." The kid raises their hand. "We don't sing. We don't read music." I was like, "So what do you guys know about music?" And they started naming rap artists. So I'm like, okay, we have to start from the beginning. I literally sang solfege back and forth to them for a whole month before they even made a sound. So that opened my eyes to like, these kids can do it. They can do it. And it's going to take work. And it's going to take effort and belief in them. Like I said before, they want someone to believe in them and trust that they can actually do this thing. And now we would get kids in there who already know how to do things and they'd be able to help and they'd be a great guide. So anyone, any singer or instrumentalist would be able to step into this in the jazz combos. Now, the jazz combo will be auditioned and unauditioned. If you're brand new to an instrument, we can put you in like a little beginner 101 Yamaha Band Book 1. You're in the jazz combo, but you're playing in a beginner's book. And then that can expand from there. Future ensembles and classes. So everything I believe, have to start in little ensembles. Even if it's a youth orchestra, do we have a string quartet? Do we have a string quintet? Do we have anything that's small that we can bring and expand from that? And that's what this is, a brass band. Brass bands aren't large. You can have a brass band. I've been a part of those. Those are wonderful. Then that expands. Woodwind ensemble could be great. Woodwind ensemble would consist of like flutes, oboes, clarinets, contrabass clarinets, saxophone, woodwind instruments. Harp could be a part of the woodwind ensemble. And there are kids out there who want to play the harp. I can talk to the harp. I mean, but yeah, I mean, again, like I said at the beginning, we have people, we have resources, we have space for these things. People who can help. I mean, it works. And then I said advanced chorus. That's further down the line. I've been talking to some of my older students and such about starting a graduate choir of kids who have already graduated high school and they still want to be in a choir, but they're not like Albany Pro Musica and they don't want to be in an adult community choir where the age gap is not quite comfortable for them. So why not? Why not? And they're interested in something like this. So that is something down the road we could start. And private lessons, voice, piano, guitar, woodwind, brass instruments. You can take that. Yeah. And brass instruments, just bringing in instructors to help. They want to take private lessons, have somebody come along and be able to do those lessons.
Yeah, we give us private lessons previously in this church.
Mm-hmm,
It depends on if we have somebody who has the expertise in that instrument. to
exactly.
Provide the lessons, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's something that would be coming. Now, says Concordia 518 will begin offering music classes. So this is my ultimate vision. You guys ready for this?
Oh, we're ready.
So my ultimate vision is I'm kind of taking it from like the Taekwondo instructing martial arts classes where the kids go in and they receive they have classes and they learn whatever martial arts they want to have. Then they have belt tests and they become like belt and all that stuff. Well, my thought is, what if we provided music classes like that, theory classes, sight singing classes, before they actually have their ensemble rehearsal? So let's just say the ensemble rehearsal was from 6 to 7:30, 7:45. Well, at 5 o'clock or at 5:30, they would have their music theory class. The same kids who are in that ensemble would take this class to start. And then as they become better at sight singing or these theory assignments, they can test up and get a different colored tree pen, or they get a baton that they can have like a little presentation and put in like a little plaque or something like that, that they graduate up from all these theory classes. So they're actually learning things outside of just singing in an ensemble. They're actually learning music that applies to their specific instrument, possibly, that applies to their specific instrument. I don't have all the ins and outs of that just yet, but that is my ultimate vision for these kids to be able to come and do those things. And if it really kicks off well, hey, we have a music school.
Yeah.
Chris, when will this happen, on Saturdays?
No. This would happen during the week, in the evenings when the kids get out from school. So rehearse, let's say we have the space checked out on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, or Mondays and Wednesdays. The kids will come to their theory lesson at 6, and then they have their rehearsal at 7:45.
Now, you was there,
Mm-hmm. Everything would be here.
you wouldn't be doing it, I mean.
I would not be doing it all.
Yeah.
No, I will be doing mostly the vocal stuff at that point. And I've talked to Mr. Calistri, and he says he's willing to teach and work with these kids.
Great.
And I've talked to other directors and others at high schools and private schools, and they love this concept. A lot of these kids need a space like that. So I'm also collaborating with other directors in the communities to help me with these ideas. So it's not just something that I'm just throwing out there. But yes, it will be during the week in the evenings, like they would do a Taekwondo class or AAU basketball practice for 2 hours. Why can't they have a music practice or music just like that?
And would you use the space, what space would you use multiple spaces or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the floor up there.
There.
Up there. Yes, there are some spaces that we have discussed, so.
And do we double your salary, Chris?
No, triple, no, just kidding. No, I mean, this is a calling. So, I mean, this is something that I actually absolutely love to do. So no, you don't double my salary by any means.
But I think, if I could just jump
Sure,
in,
jump in.
I think what we would see is that we have seed money. This actually happened to us with the youth corps. That we had a little bit of seed money that got the thing up and running. And then you start looking for ways to make that program self-sustaining. Or sustaining where the church is one of a group of sustainers for this, right? And a large music school, like you're describing, starts to have large donors that are sustaining that program. But that's the gift of Westminster, is not only do we have space and talent, but we do actually have seed money for this that will help us. We don't have to go around and say, oh, here's a vision, but we haven't done anything about it,
Correct.
will you fund it? We can start off with like, oh, this is starting to get going, and then we fundraise around that.
Yeah, so when I go to schools and recruit kids, I'm already going to have like, hey, here's a sticker. I'm already wearing a Concordia 518 t-shirt, so they will see like something there. And when we start a website, they'll be able to go to a website and say, okay, who is this Mr. Price guy? They'll be able to see who I am. They'll be able to see who the church is, because the website's going to be ran through the actual churches, the same site drop down situation, but that's logistics we're going to work out somewhere else. But huh?
What are you computer science?
He knows what I'm talking about, probably better than I do. So yeah,
Kim Deal, our.
I've spoken with her.
She's ready to.
I've already contacted Kim about how to do that. So there are things in place to go ahead and start moving this around. So the next page is my favorite page. How can you help? Now, the instructors will be paid instructors. Like we're gonna have to pay Mr. Calipari. If we have a private teacher in here, the kids will pay private lessons stuff themselves out of that. But some of these things are going to have to be paid positions. You have to pay instructors for their time. And now we're just gonna be teaching the teaching roles, conducting an ensemble, doing breakout sessions, and providing guidance and mentorship during these rehearsals and stuff like that. Greeters. So the greeters will be someone who's here to welcome the kids as they're coming in. And it's not just me standing here. We have a few more adults saying, hey, go ahead and sign in. If you need anything, let me know. The bathroom's over there. Hey, if something happened, I can take care of that while I'm teaching or another instructor's teaching some other adults who are helping with the kids. And assist with non-rehearsal stuff in that aspect. So those will be needed. And they may not even be called greeters. It may be called something else. I don't know. And finance, support with managing student payments, because the kids will have to pay money to be a part of this program. We have a little bit of seed money, but we're not going to say, hey, kids in the community, come on up for free. We can't sustain that. And also it would not give buy-in for the kids and the families. Because my thought is if a parent can pay or is willing to pay $1,000 for someone to play basketball for 6 months, you can pay $300 for a semester of Concordia or a year of Concordia. You can do that. So if a parent's willing to do that, they're willing if their kids want to do it. Now, I'm not saying that's going to be the cost. We haven't worked that part out yet, those logistics out yet. That's just an example. So
They'll take it more seriously if they have to pay something.
correct.
But would there be some thought of scholarship funds available?
Yes, well, that's something that when we just like work out the plan, the financial plan and the 5-year plan and stuff like that.
Maybe a sliding scale.
Yeah, sliding scale.
Yeah, same thing.
That was weird. I'm thinking it, and I'm starting to say it, it's coming out.
But yeah, of course, all those things, once we discuss like the finance part of things, yeah, some of those things to be included.
Chris, are we entering into a contract with Concordia to do this?
We are Concordia.
We are, okay, that's your name.
Yeah, it's just a name. Yeah. Oh, I did.
Chris, I've got another thought.
Yeah.
It's not directly related, but it's an opportunity for the younger kids who come here, brought by their parents because they can't come on their own. We're gonna have some parents who are here waiting while their kids are involved.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an opportunity of being maybe a little community, a support community for parents. And I'm thinking, oh, here's another, side benefit for this, for the parents who are gathered, and they're not just sitting here waiting and doing nothing, but
What a neat
maybe
idea.
a way to, support them and involve them in a little support for kids learning, or something like that.
That's a very good idea.
And if we have coffee and cookies for them, that'll sweeten the deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that I've sat in so many basketball practices wanting coffee and cookies. It would
If
be,
we had to buy them.
and we had to buy them.
So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Laura, you had a,
Well, I was just gonna say something similar that I know there's Apple District Youth Corral, and a lot of the parents have like this sort of associated group. Where
Mhm.
they would help with the concerts and, you know, getting the kids uniform, well, dressed up
Mhm.
with the outfits. So I think that's a common thing that. people
Absolutely.
expect, is that
Absolutely.
brings-
I didn't even list that on here, but that's absolutely. See, this was great.
I, go ahead, Nate. Yep.
Well, somebody would ask us, you know, what's their timetable?
Well, we're looking to have a summer camp, possibly this summer, but I'd like to start this in the fall. A year from now, not like November.
Yeah.
So because we have the thing is, we want to make sure that we do this right. We want to make sure that we take this seed money and use it the best way possible and have a strategy in place for all of the what ifs that we don't even know that we have yet. So we're going to kind of take our time with this because the kids really aren't going anywhere. They're here and they're still going to be craving things at that point. And it gives me time and gives us time as a community, as a church community, to actually go to the schools and start talking about these things. It's in the spring when, you know, they get back and everything. I'm going to start going into schools. And I know a lot of the directors and we're going to start really pushing this. I've been following how I'm gonna keep going back to the Empire Youth Orchestra because they're the headlining group in the community. They're self-sustaining, but their marketing is not very good. They really stay within their little bubble of people. And I might get like a card in my mailbox at school saying, have your kids audition for Empire. Or I'll get an email from the director saying, have your kids come up and audition. This is what they probably need to do. Like, oh, you could do better than that. So I think we can do better in those concepts of really going out there and being about being kid forward, student forward. And yes, they may not be the best singer, but that's okay. They can come here. I've seen kids get turned away from that orchestra and that choir. I mean, that's not okay in my opinion. There's a place for them. Make a place. You have all these instructors, you have all these teachers in the community. Add another band, add another choir, add another orchestra. Teach them to be a part of something. So I'll step off that soapbox.
I think you've really put your finger on, now that I'm a little bit more involved through the Rahimi family with some of the like activities available in our community for kids getting out of elementary school. I feel like there's this focus on, I guess the positive way to put it would be on excellence, on like having things be very elite, like they're competitive and they get like there's an aspiration to have your kid, they might have started with youth soccer, but now they're on this and now they're on this and now they're on this. And you're always trying to push your kid to go higher. So the best groups don't have to market very much because these very motivated parents are looking for the elite opportunities for their kids. And I feel like it's all aimed at like your college application.
Absolutely.
And saying, my kid was able to do this very best thing, right? And that's like pervasive in our culture, is to push kids to do elite things. And then there's this entire world of some of them are inner city kids, some of them are immigrant and refugee kids, and some of them are just neighborhood kids who aren't the type who are gonna, you know, or their family's not the type that does all of those very elite activities. And there's nothing. There's like, if you're not on that track, there's like nothing
Correct.
around. And then your kids are only doing the activities that are in school during the school day. And this idea of sort of finding a community that's positive, you know, that has a real intentional, inclusive, grow the kid as well as grow the
Mhm.
musician focus, the kind of school I know you would run, it just doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. And I've told you about my friend in Manhattan who's had her kids grew up in Manhattan. They had this young people's chorus, which they come up and have sung up in Schenectady at the First Methodist. And it's like a group of kids like you would never see collected anywhere else. It's like, you know, poor kids and rich kids and kids from all different communities, and they sing together.
All kids.
And
They're
they're
all
all
kids.
kids. Yeah.
And they have fun.
Yeah, they have-
that's-
Absolutely.
And you can see in their face that they just love singing. And the way they have it sound good is they start young,
Uh-huh.
but I mean, it's not essentially an elite honors chorus kind of thing. It's a community
Yes,
chorus.
and but those things can come out of that. You know, you gotta have a foundation and a root and a you know, a system in place that allows it. But yeah, you pretty much hit it right on the head there. I have a couple of more things here that we will need help with. That's marketing, outreach, and recruiting. My big thing with that is, I mean, that's not. I have a great idea of what it is, but I know with the professionals right here on my right,
Mm.
and the thing with that is to making sure that it keeps up with trends. You know, you can't just post stuff on Facebook anymore and hope people show up. Yeah, but I posted it on Facebook. Well, great. I don't really use Facebook that much. You know, parents don't show up for meetings. You say, well, put it on Facebook. Yeah. What else can you do? You know, there's all sorts of social media. You can go door to door is still a thing. School to school is still a thing. Instagram. I mean, all these different ways to communicate. I truly believe that there's no excuse out there where somebody can't know something.
Yeah.
You know, so someone to help in that regards and have a vision forward of what's coming to help with some of those things. And an advisory committee. That's the one that's a little bit scary for my part, but but someone to keep you on track and say, hey, you're an optimist, but let's look at it this way too. You know, we have this side to look at, and someone to kind of challenge the thought process behind what's going on, because I believe that's extremely important. Because you can get lost in your own thought.
Yeah.
And then the very last page, you know, something that was ruminating in my heart is 1 Peter 4:10 and 11. As each has received a gift, use it to serve one another as good stewards of God's varied grace. Whoever speaks as one who speaks oracles of God, whoever serves as one who serves by the strength that God supplies, in order that in everything God may be glorified through Jesus Christ. To him belong glory and dominion forever and ever. Amen. So I'm a person that is about the cause of Christ, the cause of calling, and the true purpose, fundamental purpose of things. Yes, we can get caught in the minutia of everyday life and the politics behind things and having to strategize to deal with certain situations. But at the core of it, what are we doing and why are we doing it? And if we follow that core and keep that core belief throughout the political stuff, throughout of strategizing to deal with certain people and situations, I believe God will have his hand in it. And I believe God has his hand in this also. So this is the infancy stage of this, the beginning stage, the beginning vision. But I believe with all of us, we can make this vision happen in a very positive way for our community and for all of these kids. So if you have any questions, I put a spot on the back, or any comments, you can feel free to email me, text me. any things that you think that I'm missing that would be a great idea to add to this, like the comment for the parents, I think that would be a great idea. Let me know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other comments or questions while Chris is here?
Yeah.
Anything come to mind? Yeah.
Is religious ed a part of it or just? Do this with God's blessing?
Yes, yes. But it's not there yet.
Okay.
It's not there yet. But yeah.
One other thing too, just, we talked the recruiting and
Mhm.
getting the word out and going to schools, obviously, I was thinking, they're like after school programs for kids, like through Trinity or Wizards Wardrobe, places like that where maybe, putting the word out for some of those kids could be
Mhm.
good. And I do really, the parent thing is really interesting because I think that, if the parents like feel that they've got a place to come that might be just so, nice,
Mhm.
welcoming little spot for them, no pressure, nothing, they're more likely to get their kids there.
Mhm.
too.
Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
mean, just even this room with a coffee maker and internet, like.
Yeah, just, like.
It's some work, yeah. Yeah.
It is actually sort of a weird / funny aspect of Q Theater, which has rehearsals here.
Yeah.
If you're ever here on Monday night, like you have that moment of like, it's so creepy. There's all these people sitting in their cars, like in our
Mhm.
parking lot. Oh, right, it's Q Theater. And everybody's in their own car, looking at their own phone.
Interesting, yeah.
Get away from the screen.
No, it's like 20 cars in our lot
Yeah, I've seen
with
that.
just one person in the,
See a light just shining in
And the
the.
parents are not talking to each other and their kids are making friendships upstairs, that is good.
Yeah, so interesting.
And adults often say, I have a hard time making friends.
That's true.
True. Chris, one concern, of course, is the need for chaperones for behavior issues with kids.
Mhm.
And sometimes what happens, I've noticed, is some parents will actually agree to get involved in that. So, I mean, that's something that has to be set up from the beginning, because you
Mhm.
get a bunch of kids that don't know each other suddenly showing up here in a large space. It could be happen unless
Could be.
we have some chaperones.
With Albany Soccer, there's a service, like you can either pay a certain amount or you can have service hours. Like
Oh, you mean, so,
I'm not-
so the parent, that's.
They get a
the
discount.
parent, like if a parent's
Oh.
volunteer and I'm the first floor chaperone, like just to make sure somebody's not like lost and trying to find the bathroom and then, whatever. And
In kind.
yeah, that there's a value for in-kind contribution, and that helps make the program affordable.
Yeah.
That's a thought.
Mhm.
Chris mentioned working on the strategic, putting together this as a strategy over the course of this year. He's applied for the Synod of the Northeast has a coaching program. Both Belinda and I have gotten coaches through this program, and now we applied for Chris to have a professional coach. And these coaches are not, I tell you, they're not really therapists. They're like, no, I sort of wish they were a little more, but they work on, you identify the specific issue. And they are like, they work professionally on breaking a large thing down to steps and going through. So we're hoping that will not just coach Chris, but coach the program, kind of get some of the ideas into breaking it down into steps.
That's great.
Well, part of in addition to this too, just to kind of add some color to this, Chris mentioned that I would be involved. My background is higher ed administration, building programs, in, universities, high schools programs. So that is very familiar to me in how to build programs, how to make them sustainable. And then my professional background, if those of you that don't know, I have an MBA in marketing and service management. That's what I get paid to do professionally, to support my family. So those are skills and things that I'm able to bring in to help truly address the marketing things, these internet website things. I mean, I do this on the regular. So that's, so that would be one of the other ways that I would also be involved. And then my side gig is musicianship and music, which I've done my whole life, so.
Who knew?
Who knew?
I'm just curious, I think this all is tremendously exciting and could have a great future and so on. Obviously, you are key to getting it off the ground. And what I'm just sort of wondering is, look at the next 10 years maybe, at what your life plan is, in terms of, I'm looking for some long-term stability in starting a program, especially when it's, to a certain extent, rests on the shoulders of one person or two. So just, what's your future vision?
My future vision for myself or the actual program?
Well, that they're tied, in my mind, they're tied
They're tied
together.
together, okay. So the ultimate vision is that it becomes something that is sustainable with or without me. That it has gone on, it has a solid foundation and people are put in place and traditions are put in place and policies are put in place to where that if I did have to step away, just say, Leah could step in and be like, I can help run this thing and I can make this happen. Or there's a committee of people that says, hey, we're looking to hire somebody to fill this position so it can be sustainable.
Right,
So-
or you could have a health crisis. You
Correct.
have to step on out, so.
Yeah, so it's something that's sustainable on its own. And that the committee of individuals who are advisory committee can look for someone to take my place. Mhm.
But please stay.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
thank you.
thank you.
And we be continued.
Yes.
Wait. Yeah. You're like, oh, I can't hear it. Oh, you all the way up.
Another.
Yeah.